And we back. Now today's video, I'm going to be telling y'all my favorite NBA player from every team so far this season. But it's not going to be the super obvious ones because obviously everybody loves Joel Embiid. Everybody loves Giannis. But I made this list specifically to show some love to the not stars around the league. So the role players, the quality starters. So as I look at my list here, I don't think any of these players are all-stars. So this is just me showing my love to those players that may not get a lot of love. But let's get to the first team, which is the 76ers. It's JJ Redick, y'all. I sometimes watch the 76ers and I specifically put an eye on JJ Redick because you watch him go all around the screens. The boy does not stop running, and that's why he's such a quality and such a successful NBA player. He is so hard to guard because you're gassed all game long. I think it was last year or the year before, somebody on ESPN or just stats in general tracked which player ran the most throughout the season. And JJ Redick was toward the top of the list. Because in order for him to be successful, he's got to get those open shots, and the only way to do that is to get your man pinned on screens and stuff. So JJ Redick 100% is my favorite role player / quality starter of the 76ers. Next with the Bucks, it is Malcolm Brogdon. I watched him play live against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden about a week ago, and it was pretty good. The reason I really like Malcolm Brogdon is because he's one of those players that's trying to get rid of that stigma of that 4-year, 3-year college players can be good in this league. You know, you think about the NBA draft, every team is drafting based on potential. Oh, this guy could someday be great. Instead of being like, hey, we're going to get the best guy available. And in that draft class, Malcolm Brogdon was one of the best guys available, but he fell so far in the draft because he was older. And now he's making a lot of teams look back like, man, we should have drafted him. He was rookie of the year, and even this year, he's having such a good season playing alongside Giannis. I love watching him play. That boy is clutch too. The Bulls, it is, you know what? I'll be back for the Bulls. It's the marksman, man. How can you not love number 24? Especially after last night, game winning layup. Come on Paul George, one of the best defenders we have in this league. The marksman is the real deal, and it's so cool to see him back on the court. And I mean, that's all I can really say. Shout out to my Bulls for getting that win against OKC. I was on Twitter and I was just having some fun because the Bulls, we don't win often. So when we do, especially if it's a good competitive game, I'm going to tweet about it. And some Thunder fans got really mad at me because I was celebrating my W. With the Cavs, it is J.R. Smith. And I know he's still on the roster, so he counts, but he's not getting any minutes anymore. He's basically apart from the team, and they're waiting for him to get traded. The Rockets said they're interested in JR, but whatever. J.R. Smith, without a doubt, how can you not like the Henny God? I mean, I guess I can understand why you wouldn't like him after last year. If you're a Cavs fan in the finals, you probably hate J.R. Smith. But nonetheless, J.R. Smith has always been one of those microwaves, one of those spark plugs. And I like players like that either he's going to go off for maybe 20 or he may go for 2. But when he's going for that 20, it's an exciting 20. And when he's going for 2, it's kind of an exciting 2 because that guy's a shot creator. They don't always go in, but he gets some tough shots off. With the Celtics, it's Marcus Smart. I love those gritty defensive guys. He has the height of a guard, but the body of like a forward. Like, that boy is big, and he can guard a lot of players in his league. He's on one of those players that's going to be diving for the ball. And though he does flop quite a bit, I can say he's a very, very good defender. For the Clippers, it is Shea. I watched one game of him in the Summer League, and y'all can go find the clip somewhere. I immediately said that Shea is going to be one of my favorite players from this draft class. Not saying that he is incredible right now, but you can see the glimpses of this guy. He knows basketball. He has high IQ. He defends. And he's a 6'6" point guard. The guy's going to be really, really good. And right now, he's contributing on a team that's trying to be successful. And I like seeing that in young players. So, Shea, keep it up. With the Grizzlies, y'all probably know where this is going. I know he's only been there for 2 games now. But it's Joakim. I no longer have a Joakim Noah jersey. Again, I lost a lot of my Bulls memorabilia when I moved from my parents' place to this place, all right? But Joakim, 2 games in, oh, I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. They gave up on him. And the grit and grind city, it just fits perfectly that Joakim is there. Last night, he had a couple plays. I'm like, wow, that looks like the old Joakim Noah. And that's all I want to see. Shout out to Joakim for making the NBA roster, and now he's contributing. With the Hawks, it is none other than the 42-year-old legend, Vince Carter. He's 42. He's 42, and he's still balling. He's not averaging 20. He's not averaging 10. I think he's averaging like 7 points per game. But for a 42-year-old to average 7 points per game in the highest form of basketball is impressive, if you ask me. So shout out to Vince Carter, man. I know not only is he doing okay on the court, but I'm guessing he's a locker room mentor for that very, very young Atlanta Hawks team. I don't know. Does he still have another year after this? I don't think he's officially announced that this is his last year. So what if he's 43 and he's still hooping? The Heat is Josh Richardson. Dwayne Wade will always be my favorite Heat of all time. But again, this is based on this season. Though Wade has had his games where you're like, man, that boy is a bad man still. It's Josh Richardson. Again, I like those 3-and-D guys, and he's more than a 3, but I love those guards that play great defense. I think he's a very underrated player in this league. I don't know many people showing him a lot of love other than the Miami Heat fans that are watching him every night, and they really understand how good of a player he is. So for y'all that ain't watching, Josh Richardson is the real deal. I think he's only 24 years old, and he's got better every single year. So I can't imagine what he's going to be at 27 when players usually start hitting their prime. Shout out to Josh Richardson, and shout out to Dwayne Wade. Hornets is Miles Bridges. He's one of the only reasons, of course, other than Kemba Walker, to watch the Charlotte Hornets. You know, though they have been okay this year, I can say that if it's kind of a boring sight unless Kemba's doing his thing. But then you got Miles Bridges that occasionally get the highlight dunk, highlight block or something. And they need that in Charlotte. They need that in Charlotte. So shout out to Miles Bridges. With the Jazz, it is Joe Ingles. Before this year, he had 2 years where he was shooting 44% from 3. And when you think about how many threes he attempted, that's crazy numbers. That's some like great 3-point percentages. Now this year he has taken a step back, but you still know that Joe Ingles is just as good as a shooter, and I'm sure he'll come around. Maybe he won't end up hitting 44%, but we know he's gonna be like a 40% 3-point shooter when it's all said and done. Shout out to Joe Ingles. And it's mostly because he doesn't even look like a basketball player, but he hoops at the highest level. With the Kings, it is Swiper. Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan. Somebody actually, Kenny, that's editing this video, play the clip from earlier before the season started. De'Aaron Fox averages a dub. He averaged 11 last year. We talking getting bold.
That's most improved player bowl.
That's Super Bowl.
I know it's bold.
I'm gonna go 15. Is good enough for him.
I think he's gonna average a dub, man.
I like the way he's been playing though. He's a lot more fluid, making jump shots. Still explosive.
He looks more aggressive.
That's why I'm basing this off of.
Way more comfortable.
And that's what we need.
The team better.
Yeah,
the team better.
Yeah,
so
he's got more pieces around him, even though they're not like very, very good pieces. They're decently bad team. So I've been in his corner for a very long time, basically since I first saw him in Summer League. I saw everything. He had everything to be a very good point guard. He's speedy as ever. One of the fastest in the league. He finishes at the rim, and though last year he didn't take many threes, when he did take them, they fell. And now this year he's actually taking the threes, and De'Aaron Fox is playing very good. I know I predicted him to average 20. He's not doing exactly that, but he's definitely showing the league like, hey, it's only my second year, and in a few more years you're gonna be looking at me as an all-star. With the Knicks, it's very, very weird for me to pick a player. I'm probably gonna go with Enes Kanter because that guy kills the offensive glass, and that's very entertaining to watch. But I like the Knicks team because their entire roster is like former lottery picks that didn't really work out. Like Enes Kanter was the 3rd or 4th overall pick, or maybe even 5th. Then you got Noah Vonleh was a lottery pick, Emmanuel Mudiay, Mario Hezonja, Frank Ntilikina. They have so many lottery picks that didn't pan out. Trey Burke, that didn't pan out in their first, second locations, and now they're in New York. And though they don't have a great record, they're a pretty entertaining team to watch. Again, I went to 2 Knicks games while I was in New York, and both games are very good and entertaining. With the Lakers is Kyle Kuzma. He's just one of those players that are super fun to watch just because he can score in almost every asset of basketball. When you think about it, he's only a second-year player. Similar to what I said with Malcolm Brogdon, he's another player that spent 3 to 4 years in college, and because of that, he wasn't drafted very high. But he's like, hey, look, I may be a little bit older than some of the other guys drafted before me, but I'm just as talented. In LA, what a great pickup. With the Magic is Terrence Ross. Again, no All-Stars, and Nick Vucevic is playing right now on the All-Star level. So even though I want to go with him, I'm going to go with Terrence Ross because that guy is cold-blooded. He's already hit some big shots this season. And like right now, the Magic are a playoff team, and some of that is credited to, again, Terrence Ross hitting big shots when they needed them the most. With the Mavs, it is Luca Dhansak. Am I saying it right? Maybe not. But the guy is a hooper. I cannot wait for him to physically get fit because, I mean, we can tell that Luka been enjoying that Dallas barbecue maybe a little bit too much, But in a couple years, that guy is like actually turning that weight into muscle. He's going to be a force to reckon with. Even this year, he's already been very, very good as a rookie. So I cannot imagine what the guy is going to be like when he hit his prime. It's so weird to me that so many teams passed up on him. Just if he would have failed to the Bulls, even though I'm happy with Wendell, come on, man. With the Nets, I'm going to go with Caris LeVert here. I know he's been injured for a while, but before that injury, the guy was spectacular. I don't think he would have been an all-star, but he definitely would have been in conversations. With the Nuggets, it is Juancho Hernan-Gomez. It sucks right now that they have so many injuries. Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, and I think Jared Vanderbilt is also injured. May not be a name y'all know, but that's 6 players on that roster that are injured right now, and it sucks because they're so good, and now they lost Paul Millsap too. But back to Juancho. I've been a Juancho believer forever now, and so far this season he's showing the world that, you know what, I'm decent, but I think he's only 22 years old still, so give him a few more years to completely develop and stop being as timid as he has been. I believe Juancho is going to be a very quality starter in this league someday. Pacers, it is Domantas Sabonis. Wow, does that trade look even better now because Domantas Sabonis is basically the second best player on the Pacers. He does not miss. Last time I checked, he was shooting like 68% from the field. And I know he's a big man, so they usually shoot better. But that's impressive. They got Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis for Paul George. Both players are very, very solid. Shout out to Domantas Sabonis for making the most out of his minutes. People are like, man, why don't they start him over Tobias Harris? Or I'm sorry, Thaddeus Young. Or why don't they start him over Miles Turner? He just looks great coming off the bench. Why switch it up? Shout out to Domantas Sabonis. I don't know if he actually has a nickname, but we need to think of one for him. The Pels is Julius Randle. I said when he was signed there that it's going to be a match made in heaven, because he just fits everything they do. Last year, I'm pretty sure they were the number 1 or number 2 pace in the league. And Julius Randle is one of those guys that'll grab a defensive board and pound the ball, go coast to coast for a layup. That's the type of player he is. And it's been working out perfectly for him. Though they have not been extremely good as a team, he has been good in his new role. They're finally back healthy when Nico Mirotic is coming back. So don't be surprised they again bounce back up into that playoff contention. The Pistons is Stanley Johnson. Low-key, Stanley Johnson has been having a pretty solid year. He's averaging close to 10 points per game. His three-point shot is not falling as much, but I mean, he never really was a great shooter anyway. So shout out to Stanley Johnson finally making that pick that they made. What was he, 7th overall pick a few years ago? It's starting to pay off right now. The Raptors, it is Spicy P. Pascal Siakam. He is the reason I'm making this video because I wanted to talk about Pascal Siakam and I didn't know how. Pascal Siakam is top 5 right now of my favorite players in the league. The spin move, everybody know the spin move is coming, but you can't guard it. Everybody know that when there's a defensive board, Pascal is that boy is crazy good. Coming into the season, some scouts said, yo, Pascal Siakam is about to be like Draymond Green. And I looked at that tweet. I was like, what? Draymond Green? He hasn't been Draymond Green, but he's been pretty good. He doesn't have the playmaking ability of Draymond. He's not as great of a defender as Draymond, but I see it. And he's only, what, 24? What a great pick late in the first round. I think I can make a whole video talking about Spicy P, but I'm going to move on for the sake of time. Pascal, I may be getting a jersey with the number 43 on it soon. The Rockets is PJ Tucker. Again, I love those gritty defensive guys, and as you can see behind me, I'm a big sneakerhead. PJ Tucker's probably the biggest sneakerhead in the NBA. He wears 2 to 3 different shoes every single game. He's just changing them up during quarters. I like that. The team is not very good right now, but PJ is always going to get my vote as one of my favorite gritty guys in the league. The Spurs is Rudy Gay. I like that he's come back from that Achilles injury and he's just been just as good. Obviously, he's not as explosive as he used to be, but again, that's the Achilles and his age now. But he's still a very quality player for the Spurs. The Suns. All right, Suns fans, you may hate me after this, but I have to say it. I hate watching y'all play. It is terrible. And as I look at their roster in preparation for this video, there's not a singular player on their roster that I enjoy watching except for Devin Booker. And if Devin Booker is not playing, it's like a YMCA team out there. It's bad. It's really bad. So I don't have a role player. I'm just going to give all the praise back to Devin Booker. The Thunder is Steven Adams. He was balling on my Bulls last night. He's just too big, too strong, too aggressive for a lot of players in this league. Steven Adams is their dude. But other than Steven Adams, Hamidou Diallo? I know I butchered it. I'm sorry. He came into the season, and he's been very good defensively. They're the #1 defense in the league, and some of that is due to the rookie also coming in off the bench and giving quality defensive minutes. And then he's a high flyer as well. Shout out to Steven Adams and Diallo, even though y'all took that L last night. With the Wolves, y'all could probably guess is Derrick Rose, my favorite player of all time. But y'all knew that. So I'm going to go with another route and go Rocco. Since the trade, Rocco has been incredible. And a lot of people are like, whoa, when did Robert Covington become this? Robert Covington has been this. He was first team all defense last year. Why are we acting like he's just now turning into a good player? He was the centerpiece of that trade. Dario Saric hasn't really been working out so far, and that's nothing to do with Dario. They just haven't been able to figure out how to incorporate him to the offense. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But Rocco was the centerpiece of that deal. They wanted to stay competitive, and they knew Rocco plays that defense. And defensively, the team has been so much better since Rocco came on. I got to show love and give credit where it's due, and Rocco has been very, very good this year. The Blazers, it's Zach Collins. I know. Zach Collins is making Jusuf Nurkic look like, you know what, maybe we don't need him right now. Because Zach Collins has the ability to guard some of the other bigs in the league, and Jusuf Nurkic has never really been a good defender, and Zach Collins brings that. Also, Zach Collins can shoot the 3-ball, and that just improves their offense even more. So again, of course, I would win with CJ, or I would have went with Dame, but right under them is Zach Collins. The Warriors, well, everybody on their team is a star, so how do I pick? It's not going to be Iggy, it's not going to be Sharp Livingston, not this year, it's not going to be Jordan Bell. Stephen Curry, whatever. With the Wizards is Kelly Oubre. The guy's trying to make his bank this year. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they hate each other, because Kelly Oubre wants his shots because he know that paycheck is coming, or Otto Porter wants his shots. But regardless, I watched them live again at the Garden, and Kelly Oubre was way more better than I remembered. I don't know, something about watching games live in person that makes you notice the little stuff. Some of the stuff you don't catch when you watch the TV. And Kelly Oubre had a lot of those moments. So shout out to Kelly Oubre. Thank you so much for watching this video in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about it. Comment down below your favorite players that aren't stars. Suns fans, don't come at me too hard, but I just had to say it. Thank y'all so much.